Let's talk about how physical therapy is getting it wrong with cervical spine stability. And I'm coming into this with a little bit of an attitude because I just finished a first-time structural intensive, which is our first appointment we have with a client, 33-year-old woman who's had lots of dizziness and headaches and all sorts of problems and all these things happening for her. And as I'm teaching her how to bring her body into biotensegrity and get her neck to work right so we could get rid of these symptoms, the big challenge she was having is that it was conflicting with what she's been doing with her physical therapist, and it drives me crazy. What physical therapy is asking people to do is something like this. They want you to bend your head over a side of the bed, or they put you on a thing like this and bend your neck backwards, or like the chiropractors love this too. The chiro that I worked with in 2005 had me bend my head, sit in a chair at this angle and bend my neck backwards and then put weights over my head and dangle my head down this way. The concept is that they are bending the neck backwards to restore the cervical curve. It makes zero sense if you think about it. Think about it. Don't just bend your neck backwards because your PT or your chiropractor told you to bend your neck backwards. It's not helping you. It might help you in the short term. It's not going to help you in the long term. And let me break it down for you, because she was like, wait a minute, the client that I just worked with, she's like, wait a minute, why is it I've got my mind wrapped around bending my neck backwards? I dangle my head over the bed for 10 minutes or 15 minutes every single day. And what's happening with your dizziness? It's getting worse. Okay, well, let's look at that. It's getting worse. People, here's the deal. The cervical spine has something called the ligamentum nuchae, the nucha ligament. It's this massive green structure at the back of the neck. It's connected to the back of the skull at your occipital protuberance, and then it's connected at the tip of every spinous process in your cervical spine. It's massive. Horses have nucha ligaments, dogs have nucha ligaments. Many four-legged fast animals don't, but a cat does not, right? So pigs do not. So not all animals have it. The human being has it. And it goes all the way to the tip of your tailbone, but from C7 down, we call it the ligamentum supraspinale, or the supraspinous ligament. This ligament acts as a tensional integrity structure to help stabilize your cervical spine. When you bend your neck backwards, when you crank your neck backwards to restore your curve, bullshit, excuse my language, it's not helping you restore your curve. It's weakening a structure. We need structure. We need tension and integrity, tensegrity, biotensegrity, whatever you want to call it. We need to get this working, doing its job, and bending your neck backwards. Every time the back of your head drops down and your chin comes up, you are taking and you're putting slack in this structure. That slack in this structure takes away tensional integrity of your cervical spine. It's sort of like looking at a bow and arrow. If this is your neck, your cervical spine, the string brings tension to the spine, which helps it sustain a curve. The string is like your nucha ligament. This is what brings structure. If the nucha ligament isn't working, if the string is unstrung, the stick, aka the neck, gets straight. Think about it. Think about it. Stop just bending your neck backwards because you're taught to bend your neck backwards. It's a whole system of an integration that happens. For example, all four of these muscles are attached to the nucha ligament. Rhomboid minor, upper traps, splenus capitis, serratus posterior superior, right next to the rhomboid. They attach to the nuchal ligament. Right here, this massive, ginormous structure that's going away. It's not working in the human species because people don't even know it exists. You need this thing to work. And this is the exercise that's going to be the first one you want to learn so you can get it to work again, the Northern Star. How many of you folks have issues with your upper trap muscles? You get trigger points tight. Oh my gosh, they're rock hard. They don't, oh my gosh, can you rub my shoulders? Can you rub my shoulders? Right? Because this muscle does not know how to work to form appropriate tension because this nuchal ligament is not participating the way it's supposed to participate. Rhomboid minor, so many people get tightness in between their shoulders. They get this weird tightness in their shoulders. And so they're like, oh my gosh, well, a muscle like the rhomboid minor or the serratus posterior superior, these get weird and trigger pointy because they don't have a frame of reference with the nuchal ligament. Now this guy here, this is the splenus capitis. This goes from the lower aspect of the nuchal ligament to the mastoid region. And it comes right in here behind the ear, diagonally. This one on folks is just not working. It's off. It hasn't worked probably their entire lifetime because it doesn't know how to frame itself because the nuchal ligament doesn't know how to offset forces with these other muscles around. It goes all the way around. The other huge critical muscle is the serratus anterior muscle right here at the rib cage, which pulls the shoulder blade, the scapula, wide across the back. This is the lone muscle right here below the scap that offsets every one of these muscles at the back of the neck. Because when the shoulder blade gets weak and the shoulder blade caves in and you get winging, these muscles don't know what to do. They lose their tension and it cascades up. And then this nuchal ligament thing, right? So ultimately, we want to see our posture starting to go in this direction, where most of you are in this direction. You get this, the back of the head drops down. We need the back of the head to rise up to form a tension at the nuchal ligament. So as I'm explaining and coaching this very kind woman through these protocols, at the very end, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't wrap my head around this thing. I'm being a little dramatic here, but she was having such a hard time with trying to put together the fact that her PT is telling her to dangle her head off her bed 10 minutes a day and keep her chin up all the time to restore this curve. If walking around with your chin up, anybody that's telling you to keep your chin up constantly, it's doing you a massive disservice. Massive disservice. You can't get structure when you lose this connectivity at your neck. You can't. Chiropractors, PTs, please, everybody, stop telling your folks to bend their neck backwards. It's harming them. At best, they get a little relief because it takes off a little pressure in the short term. In the long term, they're losing their biotensegrity. Everything starts to slip. Every one of our 5 kinetic chains finishes at the back of your head. See this thing at the back of my neck, this structure sticking out of the middle of my neck? That's the nuchal ligament. It was not sticking out of my head until 2018 when I figured out how to activate this thing. And then neuropathy disappeared, shoulder recovered from 85% to 99%, lifelong TMJ fixed, chronically inhibited butt muscles, never had to activate them again once since that day. Concussion syndrome was overcome. Like that day I figured it out. I got clarity in my brain again after decades of having all sorts of like fogginess from all the concussions in high school. Folks, freeborn.fitness is the website. Freeborn Neck Protocol is the group. There's plenty of ways. You could make a comment in here to learn more. I'll help get you pointed in the right direction. You can do this. You can figure this out, right? This is the move that starts the whole thing. This is the 1A move of the human species, and it's going to teach you how to get all these muscles that are critically involved to integrate with your nuchal ligament. We can't make it any simpler. It's complex, and it's foreign because your body doesn't know how to connect with this yet, but you'll figure it out. All right, I'm out. I could just rant all day. Stop bending your necks backwards for the love of all that's good. Peace.